Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic: who is an actor whose presence in a movie will make you not watch the movie? The last time a similar question was asked, the answers were mostly James Corden. This time, it's Amber Heard. And James Corden. Amber Heard. Her new movie hit like 80 grand gross. You aren't the only one. What movie was that? Fuck Amber Heard, bed shitter. Amber Turd, your bed. Steven Seagal dude is just plain shit in any shape, form or movie. The Behind the Bastards podcast has 2 episodes on him, plus one about his horrible book. I highly recommend it. I'd like Steven Seagal if he were self-aware and didn't take himself seriously. That would actually make his dumb movies enjoyable. But it looks like he's convinced he's a good actor making serious movies or something. James Corden. The world got to see James Corden as a fat pussy. He was also in the movie Cats, but no one saw that. Ricky Gervais, 2020 Golden Globe Awards. Imagine for a moment, you're sitting in traffic, and then all of a sudden you see this. I cannot stop cringing. Anyone affiliated W Scientology. Edit. To be clear, I love some of the actors and their work, but once I know they are in Scientology, I know that huge amounts of money are going to flow through the film/show, etc. into that cult-like organization, and I don't want to contribute to that. I watched The Handmaid's Tale before someone told me Elizabeth Moss is actually a Scientologist. Fucky weird how she plays the lead in the series. Same, had no idea until halfway through the series and I was like, are you fucking serious, Elizabeth Moss? Till Elizabeth Moss is a Scientologist. I'm sad now. Cult-like. It's a straight-up cult. I thought OP said cunt-like organization and that works too. I was super disappointed when I found out Michael P. is a part of that mess. That is sad. Agreed. No Tom Cruise, no Elizabeth Moss, none of them. I was so disappointed when I found out she was a Scientologist. I think she's brilliantly talented and it ruins the whole thing for me. Apparently John Travolta is in that shit, too. Andy Dick. I've seen every episode of Star Trek ever many times but refuse to watch the Voyager episode he is in. It's a shame, I rather liked the character he played. Wish it had been played by a better actor. Any YouTuber streamer forced to be in a movie. Forced. Forced in that the casting director forced a square peg in a round hole. Gwyneth Paltrow. Can't stand her. She loves peddling bullshit. Plus jade eggs can cause vaginal infections according to actual gynecologists. She's an idiot. She's not an idiot, she takes money from idiots. Gwyneth Paltrow is an asshole. Jennifer Lopez. My husband and I have running joke that she literally plays the same poorly acted role in every movie. This one coming up with Owen Wilson is no different lol. Enough is probably the only movie of hers that I really like. I have to say, I enjoyed Monster-in-Law, but mostly for Jane Fonda. J. Lo and Owen Wilson have a movie coming out. Did I Wake Up in 2003? They have a rom-com coming out about a pop star that marries a nobody because her dream wedding to her dream pop star fiancé is ruined after he cheats. It looks terrible. I can't wait to watch it. The Cell was pretty dope. She's awful, but the rest of the movie is batshit enough to make up for it. I once went on a date with someone whose job it was to digitally slim JLo's butt and thighs in every shot where she's wearing that bodysuit in The Cell. Apparently for her videos she also used to hire shorter than average dancers so that they could digitally stretch the images to make her look slimmer and taller and still keep everything in proportion to her backing dancers. I'm not a huge fan of the film, but visually it's pretty stunning. James Corden. He just radiates corporate energy. He's the minions of people. Taylor Lautner. I went to elementary school with him. He constantly bullied me, and made school life for me worse. He and a lot of other kids from that school district thought they were God's gift to the earth, and I would not be shocked if he still has that arrogance to him. Is he still in things? I feel like that problem kind of took care of itself. He's coming out in this movie with Kevin James, Home Team. He looks like an alpaca. He's a terrible actor. There was a Britcom called Cuckoo. Andy Samberg was in the first season. Hilarious show. For the second season, they killed off Samberg's character and used Lautner. They could have used a talking block of wood instead. Kevin Hart. He is not an actor, and will immediately take me out of any illusion the moment he inevitably yells his line. Doesn't he have like the same role in every movie he appears in? Loud, short black guy. I definitely used to think he was heavily typecasted. But his performance in Fatherhood was actually really good. Of course in the trailer they use the one time in the movie he's funny about it, and the trailer carries a very different tone than the rest of the film. But I was pleasantly surprised to see him do so well so far out of his range. I realize he's just always in the same roles. ETA, thank you all for also recommending The Upside and True Story. I'll have to check it out. Also just wanna say, I think a lot of these answers are because someone is heavily typecasted and doesn't get a chance to show their range with different roles. Also a lot of people are in this list because their actions in their personal life are so notable that they overshadow the actor's performance, and to be fair sometimes I think this is okay. Some people have done horrible things and for me it absolutely ruins their work, and I can't enjoy a performance when all I can see is who they are in their personal life. Jared Pedo Leto. His band sucks too. I can watch him in Fight Club only because he gets the shit beat out of him. Or in American Psycho where he gets brutally murdered. He's always the worst part of everything he's in, and a dick about it during and after. How does he keep getting work? I think he was pretty good in Requiem for a Dream, but I have to agree with you after that. His acting in Blade Runner 2049 was cringy. The character was amazing and interesting, but he couldn't get it across for the life of him. Amy Schumer. I can't stand her. What I hate about her is that so many of her critics are called misogynistic because of pussy jokes or something. No, I love that, but this woman has literally joked about real-life instances of raping men. Fuck her. She's also stolen several of her jokes from other women comedians. I saw her at a Brooklyn comedy festival. She showed up by surprise. I wanted to see Eugene Mama. She made a joke about how she went to Harvey Weinstein's office dressed provocatively and he didn't assault her. She ended the joke with "Why not me too?" She's the farthest thing from a feminist. Woody Allen. Cannot abide him. I like his films except for that nervous fella who's always in them. Gwyneth Paltrow. Edit, thanks so much for the award. This is the first post I've actually gotten interaction on. P.S. I did enjoy the box scene in 7. You'll like the end of Selenium 7N. I've tolerated her in the MCU, but I won't watch anything else she's in. I just love the MCU more than I hate her and her vagina candles. You know, her vagina candles are the least damaging thing about her Goop brand, and if that's all it was she would just be a bit weird. But actually look into Goop and you'll see she's a total piece of shit. Jared Leto's creepy cultist ass. He's too impressed with himself and often takes edgy roles and cranks them to 11. Is he in some good movies? Sure. Will I watch them? No, I will not. Edit, I have seen DBC and R4D. They're good movies, and he's not the worst in them, but I still can't stand him. He's not a great actor, he's an intense actor who can be channeled into great performances with the right director. Anyone in film or theater will tell you that it's easier to pull back than it is push more. He can be cast in the right roles and he was better in his earlier years. It doesn't change that he's a cretin with an actual cult and thinks he's Jesus. It also doesn't change that he's abusive and unprofessional and no performance is worth that. Unasked for story time. I used to bartend in Atlanta and these two girls came in super excited. They said they had just met Jared Leto and he told them to meet him at my bar. The girls hung out waiting for around 2 hours looking more and more dejected. Finally they left. About 10 minutes later Jared Leto walks in and asks me if I saw two girls who he was supposed to meet. They just left. Those girls dodged a bullet. Lena Dunham and Tom Cruise. Minus the Oprah episode, Tom Cruise never seemed unhinged until that interview on Good Morning America with Matt Lauer. Granted, Matt Lauer isn't much better, but what made that interview so infamous was how Lauer asked Cruise his thoughts on Brooke Shields opening up about using prescription pills. It may have been antidepressants. Now, Cruise and Shields had been friends, and Matt Lauer pointed this out. Well, Cruise didn't take well to the mention of why she needed medication and lambasted Matt Lauer. It was bad. Lena Dunham was someone who I never understood why she became famous. She has a privileged background, cousins to the same Tiffany's of Tiffany and Company. Jewelers, yet she has proven more to be problematic than anything. Her Wikipedia sums the controversies centered around her pretty well. One of the worst things was when Durham wrote a book where in one passage she admits to molesting her sister when she was 7 years old and her sister was 1. The follow-up articles written by others reacting to her book really drove the controversy. People say what they say about Tom Cruise, but I would rather watch Tom Cruise than seeing Lena Dunham's insufferable personage on screen. I like that Christian Bale based his performance, somewhat, on an interview he saw of Tom Cruise. One of the late-night chat shows years back, he apparently came across well laughing and joking and telling stories. But, Christian mentioned, he was just dead behind the eyes. I'm convinced that his public persona is an entirely fictional character he has created. This accurately as fuck summons up my feelings. I cannot stand anything to do with that woman. These and more are the reasons.